Welcome to another video. In this episode, we're going to be dealing with OBEDEDOM. All praise to Yahawah by Hashem, Yahawashi, and double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. This video will be entitled OBEDEDOM, the Gittite was an Israelite. OBEDEDOM the Gittite was an Israelite. Right, and to go right into it, and I want to make this video short to the point if I can. All right, so I put up a re-upload a few days ago from a few years back. It was entitled Pastor Stephen Darby Didn't Have the Truth, hashtag Israelite Christians. All right, and a lot of you people, when you responded to that video, and really another brother had it uploaded on his channel, and I found it and re-uploaded it to my channel because the original channel, GMS South Carolina 07, has been long since terminated years ago. Anyway, a lot of people responded to the video, you know, on the comment board between that brother's video and mine. And you think that we made up the fact that Stephen Darby was a false prophet. Pastor Stephen Darby was an Israelite Christian, so-called. Still calling on Jesus. He was against the camps. That dude was a false prophet. That's why the Most High dropped his ass. Anyway, and I may have to, you know, do a revisit that and prove what I'm saying, because when that dude passed away, his wife took over his church. Okay, his wife took over his church. That dude was a false prophet. Anyway, from the comment board, you have an individual, and one of Stephen Darby's followers came up on us at camp, and he didn't even know that Romans 11 was dealing with the Israelites. So he got completely, you know, confounded. He didn't know what was going on. All right, we sent him down the street. Anyway, a lot of you watched that video because you saw Stephen Darby's name in the title. And you also have a lack of understanding. This person, HWFT 1999, said, nah, bro, you're wrong. Read the story of OBEDEDOM, and he put Gittite. There's no such thing as a Gittite. It's Gittite. Now you got two Gittites. You got the actual inhabitants of that land, which would be Hamites. And then you have those that sojourn there, like Israelites, that would be called Gittites, which OBEDEDOM was one of them. He was either just born there or he sojourned among them, but he was an Israelite. Anyway, this dude just making up stuff. He says God makes a covenant with the Gentiles via Obed, and that's completely damn false. He becomes a Levite. Ironically, the entire book of Leviticus is about the Most High or God restoring relationships with humanity. No, it's not. The book of Leviticus is in the 5 books of Moses, which is the law. It had nothing to do with restoring no damn humanity, restoring relationships with no humanity. All throughout the Old Testament, the Most High was fucking up the Philistines, right? The Moabites, the Ammonites. He was fucking up the nations. What are you talking about? Anyway, he says, look closely at Obed's name. This is the mind of a low vibrational being. He's adding shit, obedient Edomites and Gittites. Where do you get this stuff from, Jake? He uses Obed-Edom and then adds these words, obedient Edomites and Gittites. Esau Edom is the wicked, cuz. All right. And this just shows you the kind of madness that Jake will come up with. Now, anyway, let's keep going to try to get through it. So, brother Tazadok da Yara'ah, Tazadok da Yara'ah, he says, you're doing too much with them other books, bro. Leave that alone before you bug out. And I would say it's too late. He already bugged out. He says, all you need is the Bible. Isaiah 34:16, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. And that's absolutely right. Now, this dude, he made a series of comments, but, you know, we only going to read a couple. And the next still, the brother said, specifically the fact that wherever you got the doctrine he became a Levite is not in the Bible. You can't convert to being any Israelite from the 12 tribes. It's a bloodline, and that's absolutely right. He says, you obviously didn't read this story. You also obviously don't know Job was an Edomite, which is another lie. There's nowhere in the Bible that Job was an Edomite. And we can prove that Job was not an Edomite. And we may have to do that in another video, or we may do it in this video. Anyway, this brother said, oh man, here we go again. Right? And this dude said, read the stories instead of just a few verses. You'll be fine. Now, what most Israelites do, you go off of your emotions and the fact that the way a man is called, you think he was from another nation. And just to see, I know what the scripture said. Now, I actually went and I looked up Obed-Edom in the scriptures, right? I did a word search, and these are all the scriptures where you see Obed-Edom. And let's take the first one. before we do anything else, this is 2 Samuel 6 and 9, right? It says, and David was afraid of the Lord that day and said, how shall the ark of the Lord come to me? So David would not remove the ark of the Lord, Yahawah Yahawashi, unto him into the city of David, but David carried it aside into the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite, right? Now let's look up the word Obed-Edom right here and see them. I want to show you something. Even the blue letter knows that. All right, so this is Obed-Edom. It says Obed. Now I don't know if this is the correct pronunciation. It says servant of Edom. I mean, I don't know if this is the correct definition of what his name would be, because it wouldn't be Obed-Edom. All right. It would probably be Abad out of Wam. But I'm not 100% sure on that. All right. I did this video on a short notice. It says a Levite and a Gittite who kept the ark of Uzzah, who kept the ark after Uzzah was slain by the Most High for touching the ark while it was being taken to Jerusalem. Right. And this is a key. A Merarite Levite and a singer and gatekeeper, which he was a Merarite. Right. And that brother Merari was from the tribe of Levi. He descended from him. He says the family descended from him. Right. Now look closely here. Now this is what they say. He says worker of Edom, Obed-Edom, the name of 5 Israelites. The only time you find this word Obed-Edom in the scriptures, you find it in several places. And different men had that name, but they were all Israelites. The name of 5 Israelites. OK, now we're actually going to go on to prove that. And just bear with me here. Let's go back to the word search screen. I want to show you. I did a quick search just to see what Esau would say. And surprisingly, Esau got this one right. Check this out. All right. So this is from a page called Christianity. It says, was Obed-Edom the Gittite a Gentile who became a Levite, or was he already a Levite when he received the ark? And this is from 11 months ago. And this is what it says. I recently heard a pastor building his sermon around the fact that Obed-Edom was a Gentile, a precursor to Acts 15:16, the full inclusion of Gentiles, which is error-filled teaching based off of weak-ass Christianity. He says, who became a Levite after the possession of the ark. Now, if you know anything, the Philistines, right, those Hamites, they had to get rid of the ark because why? The Most High was killing them off, giving them hemorrhoids. So you mean to tell me, you know, after that, another Hamite is going to take possession of the ark? Of course not. Anyway, it says, on the other hand, most commentators claim that he was a Levite from the beginning, though a Gittite, obviously being a Philistine, the same camp that Goliath, the enemy of David, came from. Has anyone studied this in depth and come to a balanced conclusion? And then they cite 2 Samuel 6 and 10. So David would not remove unto him the ark of, you see their name they use, it's Yahawah, unto the city of David, but David took it aside to the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite. Now when he looked, somebody named Barnes said Obed-Edom was a Levite of the family of Merari, being 1 Chronicles 15:18 through 24, right? 1 Chronicles 16:38, a son of Jeduthun. It says Barnes does not mention the preceding verse, 1 Chronicles 13:13, where Obed-Edom was still called a Gittite while he received the ark, who was a Merarite. He is called a Gittite perhaps from Gath Rimmon and Manasseh, which belonged to the Kohathites. Joshua 21:25. Marriage with a Kohathite or some other cause would account for his dwelling in the Kohathite city. Now the Geneva Bible says who was a Levite and had dwelt in Gittaim, 1 Chronicles 15:21. Somebody named Gill said this man was a Levite, as appears from his being after was appointed to be doorkeeper for the ark and to sing praise before it. And so a proper person to commit the care of it. 1 Chronicles 15:18, he is called a Gittite either because he had sojourned in Gath sometime, or rather because he was of Gath Rimmon, a city of the Levites, Joshua 21:24. All right, and let's read one more here. It says here, King comments, later we see that Obed-Edom gets a special service as a gatekeeper at the temple, 1 Chronicles 26:4 through 8. He is a Levite, but born in a city of the Philistines. And that's what we know. And all these scriptures that they cite, they gather from here, because these are the only places that you find written about Obed-Edom throughout the whole Bible, just in the Old Testament, just in Chronicles and in 2 Samuel. 1st and 2nd Chronicles and 2 Samuel. Now, let's go and read a little bit. Let's show you this. Let's see if I want to find my right. Let's see here. Actually, 1st Chronicles, right? 1st Chronicles 15 and 1. Listen up. It says, plans to move the ark to Jerusalem. So verse 1 says, and David made him houses in the city of David and prepared a place for the ark and pitched for it a tent. Right? Then David said, none ought to carry the ark of the Most High but the Levites. For them hath the Lord, Yahawashi, chosen to carry the ark of the Most High and to minister unto him forever. You see it? So only Levites is even allowed to touch it or to deal with it. Now, when you go here, let's read a little more. It says, and David gathered all Israel together to Jerusalem to bring up the ark of the Lord into his place, which he had prepared for it. And David assembled the children of Aaron, the Levites. Salakia, the children of Aaron and the Levites. Right? And it goes into, these men were bloodline Levites. From the tribe of Levi, it says, of the sons of Kohath, Uriel the chief and his brethren 120. Of the sons of Merari, Asaiah the chief and his brethren 220. So we know this brother Merari is a Levite, right? If we go down here to a few other verses, let's go down some. We don't need to read all of those. When we go here to verse 17, we'll start at 16. It says, and David spake to the chief of the Levites to appoint their brethren to be the singers with instruments of music, psalteries and harps and cymbals, sounding by lifting up the voice with joy. So the Levites appointed Heman, the son of Joel, and his brethren, Asaph, the son of Barakiah, and the sons of Merari, their brethren, Ethan, the son of Cushiah. All right. So remember, this brother Merari is right from the lineage of Levi, right? Right up here. Of the sons of Merari, right? Let's go back. All right. So verse 17 again. So the Levites appointed Heman, the son of Joel, and of his brethren, Asaph, the son of Barakiah, and of the sons of Merari, their brethren, Ethan, the son of Cushiah, and with them their brethren of the second degree, Zechariah, Ben, Jaaziel, and Shemiramoth, and Jehiel, and Uni, and Eliab, and Benaiah, and Maaseiah, and Mattathiah, and Eliphel, or Eliphaleh, Salakia, Eliphaleh, and Mikniah, and Obed-Edom. See that? And Obed-Edom, and Jael, the porters. So these men, Obed-Edom again, a Levite. Down here it keeps going. So the singers, Heman, Asaph, and Ethan, were appointed to sound with cymbals of brass, and Zechariah, and Aziel, and Shemiramoth, and Jehiel, and Uni, and Eliab, and Maaseiah, and Benaiah with psalteries on Alamoth, and Mattathiah, and Eliphaleh, and Mikniah, and Obed-Edom. Again, you see it right there. You see? So these men were all Levites, man. All Levites. We go here to verse 24. And Shebaniah, and Jehoshaphat, and Nathaniel, and Amasai, and Zechariah, and Benaiah, and Eleazar the priest did blow the trumpets before the ark of the Most High, and Obed-Edom and Jehiah were doorkeepers for the ark. So David and the elders of Israel and the captains over thousands went to bring up the ark of the covenant of the Lord out of the house of Obed-Edom with joy. I mean, it's right there, man. Damn. We don't even need to read more than that. You see? And it's just like that. When you go into these other various scriptures, you see it all over the place that Obed-Edom is in the lineage of Levi from the sons of Merari, which came directly. I mean, you can't get around that. And that's it, man. And we don't need to do more than that. And his name is mentioned in other places, but every time, like we said, when you go into Chronicles, Chronicles is another word for records. It's the records of Israelites. I mean, you may find other nations being mentioned in there, but for the most part, that's Israelites, man. You see, especially when we dealing with this, we know we dealing with this right here. So, I mean, Jake gonna still say what they say, but that's all right. We done went into it. And I mean, this article, it was helpful a little bit, you know. It was helpful. If you read down here, I mean, they insert a lot of their own opinions or whatever, but it's here. Right here it says he is listed as a descendant of Levites in 1 Chronicles 15. Then David spoke to the chief priests, the chiefs of the Levites, to appoint their relatives as the singers with musical instruments, harps, lyres, and cymbals, playing to raise sounds of joy. We just read that. This is another version. It says, so the Levites appointed him and the son of Joel, and from his relatives Asaph, the son of Barakiah, and from the sons of Merari, their relatives, Ethan, the son of Cushiah, and with them their relatives of the second rank, Micniah, Obed-Edom, Jael, the gatekeepers. Boom. See that? And this second point said his name does not imply that he was an Edomite or a Philistine. Easy, man. Easy. Now they say rabbinical tradition holds that his name Obed means a servant who honors the Most High in the right way. Edom, meanwhile, implies that his family served the Most High's altars in what was called Edom Red Land prior to his move to Gath. And I can't confirm that. All right. But we know that he was not an Edomite because we just proved it. We just read it in the script. So, I mean, that's pretty much it on that. I'm going to give you something real quick dealing with Job. We know Job was not an Edomite. If you read in the book of James, right? Go there real quick. It's James 5. This is proof that first we read James 1 and 1. James 1 and 1, right? This is James 1 verse 1. It says, James, a servant of the Most High, and the Lord Yahawashi HaMashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings. So who is the book of James written to? It is written to Israelites. All right. It's written to Israelites. It's not addressed to anyone else. It's right here. You read it anytime you read it. Now let's go to James 5. Right. This is James 5 verse 10. It says, take my brethren, the prophets. Now you hear, we read in James 1 and 1 who the book was written to. Right. So who are James's brethren? They're Israelites. The whole book is to the 12 tribes scattered abroad, right? Take my brethren, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of the Lord, for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. So all the prophets were Israelites, right? Let's read it again. Take my brethren, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of the Lord, for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. Behold, we count them happy which endure. Ye have heard of the patience of Job, who was a prophet, and have seen the end of the Lord, Yahawashi, that the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy. But above all things, my brethren, again Israelites, swear not neither by heaven, neither by the earth, neither by any other oath, but let your yeah be yeah and your nay, nay, lest you fall into condemnation. So we see right here, James told you in the beginning who the book was to. 12 tribes scattered abroad. Then he says, take my brethren, the prophets. James was an Israelite. He said his brothers were prophets, which were all Israelites. Then he mentions here Job. Job was not an Edomite. He was an Israelite. And Obed-Edom was an Israelite. And that's it. That's it. We'll leave it right there. No need to beat a dead horse. You can go there and look up the word Obed-Edom. You're going to always find Obed-Edom mentioned in the lineage, right, with Levi. And we know that his forefather Merari was directly from the sons of Levi. All praise to Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi. Shalom.